my
What's
dude?
going on? What a shot by Sherwood.
Yeah, pick that far side real good.
Oh, yeah. Just an absolute missile of a shot. You love to see it. Started off a little slow. Guys looked like, regular season, first game, a little bit of nerves. Don't want to make too many mistakes. Just trying to play smart hockey, keep it in deep. And until they get kind of a feel for the game. And then you could see in the last 10 minutes of that game, the Canucks really started to press harder. Basically took control of the last 8 minutes of that period. The power play obviously helped. Couldn't quite get set up for anything super dangerous until the end, where Kane just missed putting it over Wolf's shoulder there. But other than that, nothing really to worry about. A good penalty kill. Demko looks solid. Made a really nice toe save there. Granted, Kadri didn't get a ton on it, but still nice to see Demko making a good split save and not laboring on that left leg. Just all good signs right now. Petey's shooting more. Myers is shooting more. Petey just missed with a rocket of a shot there too early in the game. Just all things you love to see. Everyone's kind of working together. One thing that frustrated me, obviously, is taking the too many men penalty, but sometimes that's going to happen. Forbert missed a couple games with injury, so he's not up to the same speed that the other guys are, and just a mix up on his end, thinking he was going out there and maybe they yelled 5-7 and he heard 2-7 or whatever, right? Maybe they got to use names. It might have been a number thing, right? So.
Well, I mean, I think I'll give it up to the Canucks because, like you said, they did start a little bit rough, obviously, in the shot department. But as you can see here on the screen, they did end up finishing that period with 8 shots, the Calgary 6. And I believe at one point the Flames were up like 6-3 in shots. So really the end of that period ended up being all Canucks. So you do love to see that.
Yeah, and hopefully they can continue that energy coming out in the second period. They did have the momentum there, and if they can keep pushing, I mean, they have the 1-goal lead right now, so they do like to play out of that position of being ahead that we've seen in the preseason. They don't sit back. They're going to keep pushing, and maybe we'll see a couple of 4-man rushes if the Flames start to lose their legs a little bit as we carry on with this game. Let's not forget that the Calgary Flames did play last night in Calgary and had to travel, or in Edmonton, and had to travel to Vancouver today for the Canucks game. And also Dustin Wolf, if the Canucks keep pressuring him, continue to pressure the way they did in the last 10 minutes there, he's going to be awfully tired as well after a 35 save performance last night and going 8 rounds in the shootout, I believe. Yeah.
The other up I'm going to give to, well, I was going to say the too many men call. Maybe Foote was giving a little wink to Tocchet, like, hey, you remember when you got too many of these last year, buddy? But probably not. I loved seeing Braden Coots being put out there in a defensive faceoff role, which is something you don't generally expect from a player that they don't have any faith in their ability to prevent the goal from going in net. So Braden Coots taking that defensive zone faceoff, you love to see that. The coaching staff clearly have faith in him already.
Oh, for sure. And I think there was a play that stood out to me early. I think it was his second or third shift where he was the forward back to clear out the garbage in front of the Canucks net. And just great awareness to be that centerman to come back and cover when both defensemen have to kind of get pulled deep under the goal line. He was in the right position to cover the front of the net and create that triangle 5-on-5, pick up the puck and start skating it out and get it out of the zone. It's those plays that made him that pushed him onto this roster. It's not necessarily the goals or the assists he was getting. It's the hard work he's doing away from the puck to get the puck, to keep the puck, to find the open areas, to know where the other team is going to try and put the play. He just reads the play really well, very mature, plays smart, doesn't try to force anything, doesn't try to outplay the game that he has, and it's just a really nice sight to see from a young Canucks prospect.
Yeah. Obviously a bit of a scattered start for the Canucks. Demko hanging in there, and like you said, not shown any worse for wear out there after a couple of really big saves, especially that first save of the game, right? Full spread in the net with the pass right across and comes across. And it's one of those things where you look at the Flames versus the Oilers last night, and it's Skinner versus Wolf. But Wolf versus Demko is a whole different game. I'm going to knock on wood before I say this, or maybe after. I don't know which one I'm supposed to do. I don't see Demko dropping the puck at his feet and then just staring at it and allowing it to get then chipped in, right?
I mean, Demko has a far better relationship with his defensive partners. And I mean, a miscommunication moment like that, no, you're not going to get that, hopefully, from a Demko. um, you know, usually Demko is going to play that puck to the corner for his defenseman, not expect his defenseman to pick it out of his feet. That's just kind of par for the course when it comes to Edmonton goaltending and Edmonton defense. All overpaid and super underwhelming.
Yeah, despite the fact that their best player just took a massive pay cut to try and keep the team going.
Yeah, for them to waste it on a 35-year-old Matthias Ekholm for 3 more years. Like, what are they doing?
The window is only open for so long, I guess.
Well, I mean, they need a goalie, man. They like a 35-year-old D-man isn't going to be the difference to push you over the edge to a Stanley Cup, but a bona fide starting goaltender is. And that's all I'm going to say about the Edmonton Oilers because this is a Canucks show, damn it.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, they're waiting for Connor Ingram to come out of his shell as a butterfly or something like that. Go Canucks go. Okay, now it makes sense. It is Jay. I didn't know who Go Canucks go is, but now I see his face donating $2 to the stream. I appreciate you. And he just says, woo! So a story just came out today with regards to Marco Rossi, because we all heard the rumors all summer long about what the Canucks were being offered from Minnesota. So I'll show everyone here what it actually ended up being. So Irfan Gaffar was reporting that Rossi, when they were asking, the Wild were looking for Vilander. And that didn't happen because the Canucks were like, we're not giving you Vilander for him. And then the other one they tried was 15th, Atu Ratu and Artur Shilov. And the Canucks also said no. Would you have taken either one of those?
No, absolutely not. No. Not for an RFA who was holding out for money. There was no sign that there was no guarantee that he would sign in Vancouver if he came here. Like, it would have been just trading for his rights at that time. And it would have been an awful trade. I think it probably would have blown up in their face. I just think that was smart protection of the assets. Shilovs did get traded later for draft pick and I have my opinions on the Shilovs trade. Like, it should have happened before the Demko signing. Obviously, it forced Alvin's hand a little bit, but with these trades here, I mean, they weren't sure how Filipino was going to show up in camp. They knew they had some young centerman that could potentially fill that second line center role if they make the jump. And I think after seeing these crazy prices for centermen, obviously they went into the training camp and went, okay, let's see what we have. And maybe they wait, 20 games to see if they can find a cheaper dance partner, because everything's going to start leveling out after 20 games, right? There's some teams that are maybe going to have an injury happen through bad luck. There's some teams that are going to fall off who thought they were going to do a little better. And there's going to start to be some names available and some movement in the league. And you can bet that Alvin is going to take advantage of those calls, because that seems to be his prerogative ever since he's been here. He kind of waits in the wings and makes trades when you don't really think trades are going to happen. He doesn't typically stick to the scheme of when we think trades should happen. And it'll be interesting to see what happens after 20 games, but very glad he didn't give up, the assets we had for this. I mean, Ratu, one of our best centermen in the faceoff dot, and will, can win on both hands. And I mean, you're seeing the results right now with the 15th overall pick, who, I think really just fell through the radar because he was playing for a team that wasn't very good in the WHL. And had he been on a winning team, I think might have gone in the top 7.
So one center they won't be able to sign, and I'm sorry I'm making you talk about the Oilers again. Jack Roslovic getting signed by the Oilers for a sweetheart deal, 1.5. I don't know if he would have gotten more, but it should be noted too, another situation where he wasn't really making the lineup in the playoffs, wasn't really doing well. So, I mean, are we glad the Oilers have signed him now? Probably, right?
I mean, it's just for the season to see how he does. I mean, let's see here. I don't know that he's going to make an impactful change on that lineup right now. But is a cheap fill-in for the fact that they are missing Zach Hyman until potentially December. So not to say that he can fill those shoes, but has the potential to play right wing and for $1.5 million, I think is what they signed for this season, to see if he can, be an injury fill-in and maybe even play his way into the top 6. It's a pretty cheap gamble for Bowman and company out in Edmonton.
Yeah, -10 last year for the Carolina Hurricanes, and was a -3 in the playoffs, despite having 4 points. So those are the numbers that, I mean, as a Canucks fan, I'm liking to see, because he is a -37 for his whole career, which is not great stats when you have 260 points and you're -37. That's not really a good clip for me. So I'm fine with that.
No, not a 200-foot hockey player. And you know what? Sorry, it just had a brain fart on his name. Brett McLean, who came over from the Iowa Wild job, was likely familiar with Roslovic and Rossi, and probably had a bit of say in whether or not the price was right to go after these guys. So that also may have given the Canucks an upper hand on not getting fleeced in a trade for Rossi or overcommitting dollars to a Jack Roslovic.
Tocchets hockey. First game as the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. We're talking about everything except for the Canucks today, apparently.
Yeah.
20 shots in the game. They had 6, 9, and 5. That looks so much like we saw last year. The Vancouver Canucks already have 8 shots in their game so far tonight. What's the deal with these coached by Rick Tocchet teams? Are we going to see the same defensive drop-off as we've seen with all the other teams he's taken over?
Oh, 100%. I talked about it until I was blue in the face when people were blaming the players for everything that was going wrong with the team. I mean, it starts at the top, and the top was Rick Tocchet. And we've heard Rutherford now come out and say, him and Tocchet probably didn't see eye to eye on Pettersson. And, Adam Foote and Tocchet had different ideas. It seems like a lot of it, they're trying not to throw Rick under the bus because, yeah, he did kind of come in, fix the defensive problems that the Canucks had, which is great. But he is, in my opinion, an assistant coach that should be in charge of coaching defensive hockey because he doesn't know how to handle offensive players. He showed it in Arizona with Keller and players like that, Clayton Keller. Had a huge offensive drop-off with Rick Tocchet as head coach. And I won't be surprised at all if we see Matvei Michkov and Trevor Zegras and guys that you would expect to be getting high shot totals on net and being creative with their offense just being stifled by an overcoached system of dump and chase, 3 men deep, no high-risk shots, right? Like, it was all percentage stuff, and it becomes a point of then players don't know what's a high percentage shot or what isn't. And you see them double clutch because they're going to get reamed out if they shoot the wrong puck. And we saw that all last season, right? Like, look at guys already in this first game, how much quicker they are to just shoot the puck, just get it on net, because that's where the goals are going to happen. You might create a rebound. You might get a lucky bounce or a deflection. You might get a bounce off the end boards out in front. We've seen crazy goals like that happen for teams like Florida and Edmonton, you know, like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, these teams that have high scoring players, it's not just because they're good at scoring, it's because of the volume of pucks that they put towards the net. And to see the Canucks come out, and yeah, it was a bit of a slow start, which I kind of expected. Everyone else has a game or two under their belts. The Canucks are late to get into this season, starting 2 days later than most of the other teams. So you knew there was going to be a little bit of holding the stick. Braden Coots is playing in the biggest game he's ever played in as an 18-year-old. Looked like he settled in pretty well towards the end of the game, but we absolutely wouldn't have seen this if Tocchets was here. Like all these young guys that were on the fence about maybe likely were getting thrown back to Abbotsford, right? It's just there was no trust in youth. There was no trust in offensive guys to make the right offensive decisions. And it just, I mean, all the best to him, but he is now Philadelphia's problem, and those fans will let him know what they think.
Oh, I'm just going to cover my nose because I think I can still smell a little Tocchet in here. So quickly, we don't have a lot to talk about with the Abby Canucks, just the fact that we're getting spoiled here because we get the Vancouver Canucks season debut today. We get the Abbotsford Canucks season debut for tomorrow. How excited are you to see the Abby Canucks play down in Vegas tomorrow?
I'm excited to see how the roster looks. With a lot of guys have moved up to the Vancouver Canucks, and there's some shifting with the Kalamazoo Wings and that sort of stuff. I'm curious to see how they make up the defensive lineup, given that they have Mancini and Vilander. So both right-handed shots, both top-line guys. Do they play two righties? Do they play a lefty and a righty? How are they going to split their minutes? So just a lot of stuff. Curious if they send Mancini back down for that game or for that series, because he is called up right now. Just a lot of stuff moving and crazy stuff happening. So I don't know. I'm excited to see it go, and I will obviously have some stuff to report on at the next Canucks game.
Yeah. Are you going to, I didn't even ask, are you going to be here? Because we are streaming tomorrow night, which I haven't even posted anything. Are you going to be here tomorrow night for the Abby Canucks game?
Oh, I'll be around. I'll be watching it on Flow, so I will be happy to pop in.
I'm putting you to work, bro. We got 3 nights in a row we're going to be streaming, so it'll be good to see.
You know what? You can't be doing it all yourself. You got to have some support, and I'm here for you, buddy.
Awesome, Dustin. Enjoy the rest of the game. We'll chat in the post-game show.
Sounds good, you two. Oh, and a bad hit here to start the second period.
Nothing is perfect.